TQL, the Tygron query language, can be used to obtain statistical information from the project's built environment. To get started with TQL, make use of the Query tool, which will assist in the creation and execution of TQL queries. Ensure Current Situation is selected in the ribbon bar. Then click on Queries to open the Query tool. The Query tool will now open. Queries are composed of two parts, the statement and the clauses. The statement dictates what the query does and the clauses dictate the qualifications for which it does so. To start, remove all clauses and begin with a Select Land Size query. Click on Execute Query at the bottom to execute the query. The result will be all the land size found in the totality of the project. Next, click on Add Clause. This will add a qualification to the query limiting the results obtained. Set the first drop-down of the clause to Neighborhood, and the second drop-down to any neighborhood. Then again click on Execute Query at the bottom to execute the query. The result is now the land size which is found specifically in the indicated neighborhood. In other words, how large the neighborhood is. It's easy to create more complex statements by adding additional clauses. Change the statement part, land size, to floor size. This means that the query will not return the surface area, but the amount of space on and in buildings, including respective amounts of floors. The neighborhood clause is still available and can be left as is. Next, add a clause. Then set the drop-downs of it to Category and Social. This will limit the results of the query to only the floor size of social housing. Buildings such as offices, industry, healthcare, and parks will be disregarded. Next, add another clause and set the drop-downs of it to Category Mold and Parking Lots Demand per Square Meter. This will multiply the outcome of the query, the floor size of buildings, with the parking demands which those buildings have. Now execute the query. The result is the floor space of social housing in the specified neighborhood, multiplied by the parking demands, and thus the amount of parking spaces required to meet the demand for just the social housing segment in the specified neighborhood. Queries are not limited to vector data such as buildings either. Grid overlay results can be consulted as well. Change the statement part, floor size, to GridAv. The category and category mold clauses are automatically removed as they are not a veiled combination with the grid average option. Add a new clause. Set the first drop-down to Grid and the second drop-down to any calculated grid overlay in the project. The heat stress overlay is a good example. Now execute the query. The result is the average outcome of the grid calculation for the specified neighborhood. In this example, using the heat stress overlay, it is the average temperature in the specified neighborhood. More statements and clauses are available and more combinations can be made, allowing for a wide range of queries to be constructed and executed.